The Night Shift Encounter, a truck driver's alien experience. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a wild story that's sure to give you a chuckle. It's about a truck driver working the infamous night shift who had a jaw-dropping encounter that left him convinced he was dealing with an alien. Stick around because this one's a real roller coaster ride. All right, picture this. It's a quiet, dark night, and our truck driver is cruising down an empty highway. Just him, the rumble of the truck, and the occasional flicker of headlights in the distance. He's been doing this for years, driving through the night, and let me tell you, it gets pretty monotonous. The best part about night shifts? The serene stillness. But, as anyone who's driven late at night knows, the mind can play tricks on you. Our driver, let's call him Mike, has the radio on low, humming along to his favorite tunes to keep him awake. But after a long day, he's starting to feel that heavy eyelid syndrome kicking in. You know what I mean, right? That struggle to keep your eyes open when the night feels endless. So there Mike is, driving along when suddenly, bam! A car pulls out in front of him and hits the brakes. He barely has time to react. His heart races and he thinks, what is going on? At first, he's just confused. Like, who would stop like that in the middle of nowhere? As the car comes to a complete halt, the driver steps out. At this moment, Mike's brain goes into overdrive and he thinks, wait a minute, is that an alien? Yeah, you heard that right. In the dead of night, with the shadows playing tricks, his mind conjures up wild ideas. He squints to get a better look while his imagination runs wild, picturing green skin and antennae. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Out steps this person, but not quite what Mike expected. The guy is wearing a bright, reflective jacket, definitely not standard alien attire. But in the eerie nightlight, and with the glow from the nearby street lamp, Mike momentarily sees him like some kind of glowing creature. Imagine it. The truck driver, pumped with adrenaline, staring at this figure that just doesn't look right. Maybe it's the wariness messing with his head, but he could swear the guy looks a little out of this world. Mike's inner dialogue peaks as he thinks, this can't be happening right now. His heart is racing, and he feels a cold sweat for a brief moment. He's convinced he's not just dealing with a stranger, but something extraterrestrial. But as the person edges closer, Mike has a moment of clarity. It hits him that this is just another person, possibly in need of help. The adrenaline rush fades, and he can't help but think how silly the whole thing seems now. As he comes to his senses, Mike realizes that horror can transform into laughter in the blink of an eye. I mean, really? An alien? Come on. So, as the figure approaches, he opens his mouth to speak, and instead of some creepy, deep voice, the person just says, "Hey man, can you give me directions to the nearest gas station?" At this point, Mike bursts into laughter, thankfully. No aliens here. They chat for a few moments, and Mike is relieved to find out it's just a fellow traveler who got a little lost. After giving the guy some guidance, he watches him head off into the night. Mike leans back in his seat, shaking his head and chuckling to himself. Who knew a routine night shift could turn into a cosmic comedy? So what did we learn here? Sometimes, our minds can create the wildest scenarios, especially in those quiet, lonely moments. Don't let your imagination run away with you. And if you ever get spooked in the night, remember Mike's story more often than not. It's just an ordinary moment, dressed up in a bizarre disguise. Now I want to hear from you folks. Have you ever had a weird encounter at night? Drop your stories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip to the unusual and want more stories like this, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more fun adventures. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep it cool and keep it real.